It is normal when first piloting a prawn suit to feel a sense of limitless power. Prawn operators receive weeks of training to counteract this phenomenon. You will have to make do with self-discipline.
I got it! That didn't hurt. Drink it in, pal. That's how failure tastes. I got a bucket of chicken, and I'm here to kick ass. And I'm all out of chicken, so I lied about the chicken. Hit the bricks, pal. You're done. I am an invincible unicorn! Oh, what's up? Dumbass. Didn't hurt. Unfreaking touchable. You can't hit what ain't there.
Deserters to his shop. The king wishes.
Dead? Really freaking hurt. Doc, come on, man!
Now this is probably one of the best investments in the entirety of Guts and Blackpowder. The Siege Armour. Okay, now don't let me get ahead of myself. Let me tell you why it is, how it works, all that jazz, you know, the regular old. But of course, just remember, it is a consumable, so I suggest investing in your permanent items first before spending money on consumables. That's sort of like the whole point of consumables is for stupid people like me who hoard all their francs, something to spend it on. Anyway, to start us off, let's hear what Bubbles has to say about this engineering marvel.
I found this armor from the body of a dead soldier. It'll serve you well against those cannibals.
Thanks, Mr. Bubbles. Let's dig into the stats. So this item is yet another consumable, costing 75 francs per set. When equipped, it adds a 66% damage resistance to physical attacks, 50% damage resistance to explosives, and immunity from being crippled by Zuraseers. That means like after you got the old London handshake, you know. There are some downsides, including 12% more damage from fire, 9% slower walk speed, and 25% slower building repair speed. Not the hammer swing, just how much health you add to your building when you repair it. So, quite a lot of numbers. First things first, I'll explain how consumables work. It's not too dissimilar to the Canteen of Courage. You equip this item in your consumable slot. Then it acts as an extra little item for you to use. Unlike the Canteen of Courage or the air canister, the siege armor doesn't get used per se. Rather, it is only removed from your inventory when you die, with the siege armor on. So in essence, if you die, you lose your armor. Right, so you use it upon death instead of like using it in battle, you just use it on death. Honestly, it's a great way to encourage not dying with the siege armor, and all those awesome stats help out with that. Next, let's look over how it looks. Akin to the Cuirassier's chestplate, it's based off a French engineer's armor. However, it has a different helmet. This replaces any hat that your current uniform would be wearing. Don't ask how Bubbles managed to get so much French engineer armor, how he got it to the Danish or whatever. You know, don't question his methods, okay? He's allowed to have his secrets. Okay, so this item is actually awesome. I do want to mention a misconception with the siege armor I've seen a few people toss around first and foremost. While it can deflect a Zuraseer's charge, it will not protect you from the sharpshooter in London. His pellets are too powerful, they're like made of Australium or something. But on that note, it is amazing at deflecting Zuraseers. Like I said in my Queerest video, you can use the siege armor to protect your teammates and your buildings from Zero Seers. Think in maps like St. Petersburg, you can prevent Zero Seers from destroying all your defenses. I've found it really effective against Zero Seers. Like, just do note you will still take some damage from the Zero Seers charge, right? It's not like you can infinitely deflect Zero Seers. But in maps like St. Petersburg, it is such a great utility. Because with all those Zero Seers coming at you, especially in the Zero Seer waves, right, it's really good to just help defend you and your team. The Engineer armor can also aid you, especially in maps like Copenhagen. In the finale, you are far more resistant to the cannon shot by the HMS Cruiser. Or Cruiser? I don't know. It was in the London Museum, how am I meant to know? This means that if you aren't repairing the walls on the ship, you should help in reloading or shooting the cannon, since you'd be the one out in the open, and you are more resistant to their grape shot. Another one of its stats that I love is its 50% reduction to explosive damage. Like, I was literally able to melee bombers and keep half my health. That is absolutely insane, ridiculous. Obviously, don't go doing it all willy-nilly, right? Your surgeons will kill you. But it literally makes the sapper an absolute unit, right? Like, the explosive resistance is insane. Just do note that it doesn't work on your own grenades, because obviously, if you throw your own grenades, they deal extra damage to you because they don't like you, because, well, you lit them on fire, right? Fair's fair. Adding on to this, zappers barely do any damage, and they won't even give you the gash debuff. Literally wearing this item makes you a tank. If you see my gameplay, that's more or less why I opted to use the pickaxe. It does hefty damage, and while it's more or less just the upgraded version of the axe, its speed works better with the siege armor. It helps complement all its buffs. But I will mention that the spade can also be really well paired with the siege armor, but I just prefer the pickaxe because to me it's better. Like a 66% damage resistance to physical attacks, I can't express how powerful it makes you feel, right? It's like using the prawn suit in Subnautica for the first time, using heavy in TF2 for the first time. Like you have this new huge pool of health and defense, and you're like, oh my god, I'm invincible. Nearly invincible pretty much. But of course, just do remember that runners, they can still claw and eat out your jugular, and you're not immune to the infection, so just keep those in mind. I mean, it literally makes you feel like an absolute unit because you are an absolute unit. And as long as you keep surviving, you won't have to pay an extra franc, since it stays in your inventory until you die. Now onto the debuffs. First one we will cover is its fire damage. 12% extra damage from fire. So igniters are your worst nightmare as an engineer. Luckily, with the most recent updates separating consumables and utilities, you can have the water bucket equipped as well as the armor. I know I'm yet to make a video on the water bucket, I will one day, but I can assure you it is a great utility to use with the sapper, and especially engineer, since it can help put out fires and minimize the risk of combusting. But do just note, of course, with the fire, since it's 12% extra damage, that does stack, right? Like your health disappears with fire, it stacks a lot. And another thing, you like catch on fire easier. Like when you're standing in fire, then you start playing the animation, then you fall over. That happens quicker with the siege armor, so just be very careful around fires, okay? The siege armor is just going to use you like some meat, and the siege armor is like a furnace, like it's going to cook you really quick, so just be extra careful of the fire. The next downside we'll cover is the 25% slower repair speed. To be honest, I didn't really pick up that it was a slower repair speed while playing, right? Like before I read the stats, I didn't even know there was a slower repair speed. Like I could figure out the other stats, like yeah, I had more defense, I definitely take more damage to fire, and yes, I'm definitely slower, but the repair speed, I didn't really notice it, to be quite frank. Maybe because I was just using the pickaxe more, and the pickaxe is just an upgraded version of the axe. so I could easily take out zombies at my barricades, but to be quite frank, the repair speed really just wasn't an issue to me. Like it didn't really matter at all. And of course, as I mentioned, we do need to talk about the slow walking speed. This is probably one of the most notable downsides. It makes you fall behind your teammates quite often, and can make you more susceptible to attacks. Runners will be a big deal to you. More or less, it's putting a big old target on your back, and it's like you're constantly walking on caltrops. But honestly, while it is quite noticeable, the slowness, you'll usually be able to catch up to your team, because of course there's always objectives in the way. But do note, you just aren't as fast, okay? And a hidden downside, because of course it isn't really mentioned anywhere in game, is if you do get zombified while wearing the siege armor, you will create an armored zapper. I go into detail in this in my zombie guide. I'll check that in the top right if you want to look at it. But more or less, if you die, you'll just become a more powerful viral zapper, and that isn't good for anyone, so just be careful about that. Like, it costs money to wear, and then if you die, it costs your team, maybe even their lives, okay? It's pretty powerful. So yeah, the siege armor is just hands down absolutely awesome. This thing could be the difference between you surviving and dying in a map. If you are struggling to beat a map, and you know how to play Sapper, using the siege armor can help give you that extra defensive edge to keep pushing through. Right, like when I beat maps for the first time, and if I'm really struggling, like the first time I beat Copenhagen, I wore siege armor because that gave me that extra health. And for 75 francs, you become an absolute unit. You should pick this up. I'm not sure why I didn't sooner, but you should definitely pick it up. Thanks for watching as always, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you when I see you.